This is the superior vena cava. These are the brachiocephalic veins. External jugular. External jugular comes up, separates into the posterior facial vein, anterior facial vein, transverse jugular. Transverse jugular connects the jugulars. This is the other external jugular. Here's the internal jugular, internal jugular. They come off the externals. Going from the brachiocephalic vein, after the external jugular comes off, this is the subclavian. This is the left subclavian. After this piece, the subscapular branches off, then this becomes the axillary vein, and then the brachial vein. Again, subclavian, axillary, and then out here will be the brachial. In the arteries, we have the brachiocephalic artery. Brachiocephalic comes off the arch of the aorta and splits into three. This is the right subclavian, right common carotid, left common carotid. Right here is our right internal mammary artery. Here's our right axillary artery. The subclavian turns into the axillary after the internal mammary branches off. On this side, here's our left subclavian, left internal mammary artery, left axillary artery. Out here, it's the left brachial artery. On the side, and it's always on the right side, you have joining up with the superior vena cava, the azygous vein. The azygous drains blood from the intercostal veins. On the other side of the heart, you have the aorta coming down. So that would be the thoracic aorta right there. Moving down into the abdomen. Here we have the aorta continuing, the abdominal aorta. First thing that comes off the abdominal aorta is the celiac artery. First branch off of that is the hepatic artery. The next one is the left gastric artery, and then it's the gastrosplenic artery. Right next to the gastrosplenic artery is the gastrosplenic vein. The next artery that comes off is the superior mesenteric artery. Right next to the superior mesenteric artery is the superior mesenteric vein. The next thing that comes off, we have the adrenolumbar artery.
Jordan broke that.
And the vein right next to it. And right here we have the renal artery and vein going into the center of the kidney. Adrenolumbar is different because it goes to the adrenal gland that sits on top of the kidney. Coming off of the left renal vein only would be the left genital vein. The right genital vein comes directly off the vena cava. Both of the genital arteries come directly off the aorta. This right here, going to the large intestine from the aorta, is the inferior mesenteric artery. Right here, on both sides, are the iliolumbar vein and artery. Here at the end of the aorta, we have the external iliac artery, internal iliac artery. There's no common iliac artery in the cat, but there is in the human. For the veins, it starts out as the common iliac vein, and then the internal iliac separates from it, and the rest is the external iliac vein. Continuing on, we have the femoral vein and artery. Popliteal vein and artery go straight to the knee. Saphenous vein and artery continue on down the leg.
Deep femorals in that.
Oh yeah, deep femoral right here. Coming off both the artery and the vein, deep femoral. Right when you get past this pit that's defined by the iliacs, then you have the deep femorals. And then femorals go that way.
What's the split for the abdominal aorta? Like the Y.
Oh, this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about that.
Are you sure?
I can't remember what it's called. It's with an S. Going back to the hepatic portal system. Again, we have, this is the inferior mesenteric artery that goes to the large intestine. Going along the large intestine, and you can more clearly see it up here, is the inferior mesenteric vein. The inferior mesenteric vein and the gastrosplenic vein all meet up with the superior mesenteric vein. After that, the superior mesenteric vein becomes thicker and knobbier and becomes the hepatic portal vein. Then it enters the liver, and it comes out the liver as the hepatic vein, which will be blue and should be labeled in there somewhere. I think that's it.
Good for me because I got